Hello, everybody, and today I'm going to be talking about why have the incarceration rates in America increased, especially for African Americans. The first thing I really wanted to ask is, how do y'all feel about this problem? Did you even know that this was a problem or that this even existed? Has this affected anybody, here in a personal way? Or is this an issue that's pretty big, or do you not even know about the problem? Today in the United States holds about 5% of the world's population, but we have 25% of the world's prisoners here in the United States. That means that one out of every four people who are incarcerated or locked up or a prisoner somewhere in the world, one out of every four are here in the United States. And the land of the free has really become the land of the incarcerated. Today, there's more than 2.3 million prisoners in the United States alone, and that is greater than the population of Houston, Texas. Just to put things into perspective, that's a very big number, very big problem that we've got. And according to Pettit and Western back in 2004, the estimated lifetime risk of imprisonment for black men is 28.5% compared to 4.4% for white men. So there's some big discrepancies, disparities in between the equality and the justice and the sentencing between white men and black men. And also, according to them, more than 90% of prisoners are men. Incarceration rates for blacks are about 8 times higher than those for whites, which is a very big uneven number. And we can trace back and ask the question, why is this like this? Why are these statistics like this? Why is it such an inequality in the standardization of imprisonment? And we can trace that back all the way back to the Civil War, even before, but I like to take it back to the 13th Amendment. This all started back, during the Civil War, which was ended in 1865, and that the Civil War was in the United States for the North against the South in the quest to abolish slavery in the South because it was legal there. And of course, the North won, and then we passed the 13th Amendment, which freed 4 million people in the South, and it left the Southern economy in shambles. And there's one thing about the 13th Amendment: yes, it freed everyone, but there's one loophole that talks about criminals, and that someone can still be enslaved if they commit a crime. So with 4 million people out on the streets, forced into the economy, so many people now needed food, jobs, clothing, shelter, and with little to no education, they were forced to turn to crime. And a lot of blacks were arrested and targeted for very extremely minor crimes, which was loitering and homelessness, vagrancy. And like I said, the punishment in between these crimes, between a white man and a black man, are very different, very uh, not equal. Also, back in 1915, one of the first major blockbuster films in America, The Birth of a Nation, which was directed by D.W. Griffith. It was very negatory, negative towards the blacks and their community. Depicted them as criminals, cannibals, savages, and even a threat to white women. And of course, all this is not true. And black actors were not allowed to play in films. White actors used makeup known as blackface. They would just paint their face to play those characters, which was very demeaning and it dehumanized African Americans. And with all that negative imagery, and it really instilled unnecessary fear into society. Um, One more big issue about why the incarceration rates are so high in America is from the 1994 crime bill. President Bill Clinton He issued the War on Crime. He wanted to. His goals with this crime bill was to decrease the crime rates and overall incarceration in America. And the bill, according to Enders, Pecorino, and Soto in 2019, the bill promised $10 billion to states for prison construction between 1995 and 2000. And a big problem with that is, with the building of new facilities, new prisons, just like a business, they need their customers or prisoners to come into that facility and stay there to justify the funding. And so, because of these new prison systems needed people in them to get funded, they started to incarcerate and arrest more people. And 20 years later, Bill Clinton looked back and he apologized for the failure that was that bill that he passed. And to conclude, we've come a long way since the Civil War. Blacks have been treated a lot better, and we are moving in the right direction. But we still have problems that need to be addressed. And like I said, we call ourselves the land of the free, but according to statistics, we are the land of the incarcerated. 1 out of every 4 prisoners are here in the United States. And these are all tough problems that require great leaders and great thinkers, great problem solvers. And but how can we have great leaders in society when we lock up a significant portion of our population? So we need to find, all these bad things that have happened, 100+ years ago. We need to keep changing for the better. And thank you for. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, let me know. And thank you.